Something interesting is happening with Civilization 4 because 20 years on from its release, thousands of you are still playing this game, and you're playing it consistently over modern Civ games. I have even seen some calls for a Civ 4 remaster. But the question I want to ask is why? Is Civ 4 just that good still? And is it worth firing up in 2025? Now, I've always had good memories of Civ 4, like it's such a charming game. I love the little things, and as soon as I loaded it up, I was properly vibing to Baba Yetu. Then I got to pick from a very interesting selection of leaders. Hello Uncle Joe, you'll never make it into a new Civ game. The fantastic Leonard Nimoy narrates the whole thing, which is just beautiful, and honestly, even the notification noises in this game make me feel consumed by nostalgia. Now, if you've never played Civ 4, then don't worry, because it's not all about nostalgia. In fact, to the contrary, the core gameplay is excellent and it's very easy to jump into. So the last time I played Civ 4, I was probably still in that stage of getting bullied at school, either for being a nerd or for being too cool. I can't remember which one it was for, but with the help of a few memories and my experience with Civ games since, it was surprisingly easy to get the hang of it. I founded my capital, I explored the map for goodie huts, used workers to improve resources and tiles, chopped forests to boost production, generated as much science as possible, and then I faced the wrath of Gandhi. Like, genuinely, this game is fun. I didn't want to put it down. So maybe you're thinking, well, he's a simple man, so it's no surprise that some simple game mechanics to slip back into are right up his street, but that's not fair. I mean, it's kind of true, but it's not entirely fair on Civilization 4 because it's got some pretty well developed and enjoyable mechanics to offer. Let's take the civics system for example. This allows you to customise your nation's government, and it splits that into 5 categories. And by doing that, it leads to so many different variations and combinations of governments available. If you're evil, and you're okay sacrificing part of a city's population to rush some production, maybe you want to go for slavery, but obviously that's up to you. Okay, let's step towards the religion mechanic now, because this for me sums up, it captures what Civilization 4 does well. Because religion, it's got a bit of depth, but it certainly doesn't feel overcomplicated, and it does feel solid. The way it works is that each of the game's 7 religions are equal, and if you can ensure that your cities follow the state religion, it's an easy way to generate a little bit of extra culture and a little bit of extra happiness. And not only that, but it also impacts diplomacy, because civs that are of the same religion of you, they tend to be friendlier. But, as is the case with the idiot on screen now, if they are a different religion to you, they may threaten you to convert to theirs, which I would not do just out of principle more than anything. I think the reality with Civ 4 is that thousands of players are still playing because it's nostalgic, it's solid and it's enjoyable, but when it comes to whether it's worth booting up in 2025 for everybody else, well, I can't pretend that it's all rosy, and in fact players of recent Civ games might find it unspectacular. Now, there's one huge elephant in the room when it comes to issues with Civ 4, but we'll address that in a second. For now, what I would say is that if you're used to Civ 6, the Civ game with a ridiculous number of features, you may very well feel like Civ 4 lacks depth, because it has nowhere near as many features or depth as Civ 6. And then there's some of the features which I don't think work particularly well. Workers, for example, last forever. Now, Civ 6 had this down to a T in my opinion, with the builders having several chargers. Having workers with essentially unlimited chargers, that doesn't do very much for me. And then there's quite a big problem when it comes to combat. One thing I think Civ 7 does quite well is the commanders and the way that combat works in that game. But Civ 4 will drag you all the way back to unit stacks. Now, I know that some people who still play Civ 4 adore unit stacks, but genuinely I just find them tedious. I am glad they have gone from the series and I never want to see them again. But the issue that really hits you in the face every time you load the game up is its visuals, because even compared to Civilization 5, Civ 4 has not aged particularly well. It doesn't look good, and I know that some people will say, what does it matter? Don't be a snob about the way a game looks, but I know, it still matters. Even to me it matters, and I can be a bit like that sometimes, and it's definitely a drawback of Civilization 4. However, if I had to summarise, I don't think these drawbacks are too bad for a game that's 20 years old, and if you can pick Civ 4 up for a few quid in a Steam sale, for example, like I did, I got the whole collection for like £2.50, have a look at it. You will get your money's worth. Yes, you might not play it for months on end, but you'll get a few good and addictive games out of it. What do you think though? Do you want to play Civ 4 after watching this video? Let me know down in the comments. Why not check out another one of our Civilization videos on screen now? Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you soon.